for his family or not. I guess it'll free up time for him to just announce games versus playing in them. But it's probably for his health and health and welfare. And you have to guess that he's been hearing from these companies for a while, saying, "Hey, when you decide to step away, we've got something for you."
Right, and I get that it reaches out to like a younger demographic, right? He will,
yeah.
And Phil Simms is not good, in my opinion, and never was.
No.
So I get that, but never have I heard Tony Romo, and tell me if you disagree, but never have I sat there and heard an interview with Tony Romo talking about A, his social life, or B, the game of football, and thought, man, this guy would kill it on TV, or somebody's got to give this guy a show. He's so insightful. I mean, seriously,
no.
I don't know where they're getting like the idea that he's going to just ball out as a color announcer. I don't get it.
Yeah, I'm with you. It is surprising.
Strange times, my friends. So Romo will grace the booth. And I was listening to Jim Nance on the Masters today, and I was kind of thinking about that. It's like, holy crap, is he going to make that transition? Because usually these guys get a few, reps someplace else, right? I mean,
right.
Or with a couple of the scrub games that nobody really watches. I mean, give him a couple Browns games first before he goes up on the big stage there.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise, Ben Roethlisberger will not retire. Announced via Twitter that he informed his team he is planning on returning for a 14th season. Steeler Nation will get my absolute best, he wrote. After a playoff loss to the New England Patriots, Roethlisberger said he was contemplating retirement, noting that he wanted to evaluate all of his options. 34 years old, wants to spend more time with his family, but still has plenty left in the tank, he says. Thoughts on Ben? I mean, is he really thinking about hanging him up? He doesn't look like he's 34, first of all. And then second of all, do you think he's done in the next 2 or 3 years, really?
I think he'll play at least a couple more years. It probably depends how much of a beating he takes. He's kind of been banged up a little bit the last couple of years, so probably depend how he gets through the next year or two, and see. I think he's tried to change his game a little bit, and not take off so much, and maybe let himself get tackled a little bit easier.
Yeah,
now,
no kidding.
The guy was impossible to take down, but when he's taking 5 or 6 hits every time he stays up, that's going to take a toll in time. So I wasn't surprised that he's going to continue to play. I mean, obviously, as a Browns fan, we all wanted him to retire, but
right. No doubt.
But I'm not surprised he's still playing.
No doubt. So that was our deep dive into the NFL. Just wanted to hit up the Tony Romo and Roethlisberger thing. And like I said before, don't be surprised if Pittsburgh, tries to get a quarterback, because Landry Jones and his porn stash are no good, right? So I would not be relying on them if I was the Steelers, or Landry Jones if I was the Steelers. Would you?
No. No,
they got to be.
I'm sure they'll be going after somebody in the next couple of years to be their next guy.
Perfect. All right, so we will be right back after this short break to talk Indians and Cavs, and then get out of here. It was a blast talking Browns today with you, Rod, but we will be right back. Proceeding here on the Land Sports Podcast. Breaking everything down for you, A to Z, Cleveland Sports. We'll be back.
The skeleton took a shower. The skeleton ran out of shampoo in the shower. The human torch, could not get a bank loan. The human torch. The human torch was denied a bank loan.
Michelangelo would blush.
I like it. And you're sitting on it. And I like to be friends with it.
Well, you certainly know how to compliment a woman.
You are listening to the Land Sports Podcast. Now, back to your hosts, Brad Ward and Rod Bluhm.
And we're right back at it. Like we always do on Sunday night, Brad Ward, Rod Bluhm, bringing to you the Land Sports Podcast. Listen to a little Will Ferrell outtakes there on the break. Always makes me laugh. As we proceed here to other things that will not make us laugh, are our Cleveland Cavaliers and our Cleveland Indians. So the Indians started off, Rod, Mikey, you can kill that. Thank you. It started off in Texas. Corey Kluber did not have his A stuff in the opener that we got so hyped for last Sunday. And if you missed that, go back and listen to that episode of the Land Sports Podcast as we discussed everything Indians, broke it all down for you exhaustively, broke everything down, right? Had great guest in Mark Nikolov, and he was fantastic from Indians Baseball Insider and CST, our very own Cleveland Sports Talk. But the Indians started off in the first series, couldn't have gone any better, but Kluber didn't have his best stuff, but he was able to keep them in the game. He lasted, 6 innings, I think 6 innings, despite getting knocked around a little bit. And then the Indians rallied and won, and Encarnacion hit a home run in his first game to tie the game, and then they proceeded to win the game, and it was awesome. I mean, it couldn't have gone any better, right? Just flexing that brand new offense. They won on night 2, and then night 3 was even more special. Or was it night 2 or 3? I think it was 3, when Lindor makes the double air, giving up the lead, and then proceeds to go yard not once but twice in the second one in grand slam fashion to win the game 9-6. They scored 9 runs, I think, twice in that series. The offense looked amazing. They took a day off, had to go back out to Arizona, where they faced the Diamondbacks. They dropped one 3-2 today, but got trounced the last 2 days, so they'll be 3-3 when they start their home opener on Tuesday, which I'm sure everybody is excited about. It's a holiday basically here in Cleveland, and it should be a blast. Any reason to be concerned over the last 3 games after winning the first 3, Rod?
No.
No.
We'll just say no. No. I mean, yeah, they ran into some good pitching, obviously, and
some good.
I think just well, yeah, definitely. But I think the Indians pitching staff is still kind of finding their bearings and so forth of the starters. So they'll come around and they'll be the cream of the crop in baseball. In time, they'll be, one of the top pitching staffs in all of baseball. I think it's just taking them a little bit of time. We know the bats are going to be fine. And honestly, I don't know how you feel, but when I look at the Indians, in the regular season and the division they're in, it almost feels a little bit like the Cavaliers in the regular season. It's like, well, as long as they do good enough and everything, especially being 3-3, there's nothing to worry about, and they're going to turn it on. And I think they, if we go back to last year, I think they played a lot better as the season went on last year too.
Yeah, and it's way too early to be saying this, but obviously 6 games in. But when you start a season, or as you get through a season, the saying always is in baseball: if you can just play 500 ball on the road and win series at home, you'll be fine. And they're 500 on the road, obviously 6 games in, but obviously no reason to panic. The guys that got knocked around were Tomlin and Bauer, right? So, and then Kluber today went 6 innings, gave up 3 runs, 2 earned. 4 strikeouts. He actually got a hit today. I don't know if you saw that. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
But, so I hate that park out there because they just mash in that park. Like, DraftKings, like, you play teams when they're at Coors, and you always load up on the Diamondbacks when they're at home because that park, just something about that park, they just mash in that park, and they did too. 2 huge innings on Tomlin and Bauer, but it could have so easily gone the other way. I'm not concerned. It's way too early, to be concerned about that, but we want to see the pitching in good form. Obviously, Carrasco looked good, and he was the biggest concern coming out of camp, so I got to feel good about things as a whole, right?
Yeah, and you're absolutely right about being on the road. Those trips anywhere out west are always tough. So
right. I mean,
to go to the Split, we're good. They're good.
Freaking Arizona, man. I mean, they've been out there for how long now for spring training? They don't even get to go home. They go to Texas and they go right back to Arizona. I would have been like, good Lord. So, that's where the Indians are at. I'm excited for the opener. What are you doing for the opener? It's, I believe it's a day game, right? On Tuesday?
I have to be honest with you. I'm not sure what time it is. It's usually a day game, so
yeah, it's almost
I would imagine
a
it
day
is.
Game. I'll be working, but
I will too. Yeah.
Yeah. DVR it and watch it later, and but I'm excited. The most thing I'm excited about just watching him so far, honestly, Rod, is freaking Brantley in the lineup every day so far. Driving in runs is like, and he's been my favorite player for years, like even before his really breakout year. I just love the guy. He's not arrogant. He's so he's Dr. Smooth. He's so smooth. He has got the sweetest swing. He plays just the best left field. He's so consistent and steady and clutch, and he's never too arrogant. He's always so humble. He's just like the best dude. And it killed me last year to watch that happen to him. Seeing him in the lineup is huge. I love watching Edwin. Just even if he's missing the ball, just his cut, like every time, you just think it's leaving the yard. Seriously.
Yeah, it's fun to watch.
It's a blast. Their lineup is just going to be so loaded all year. I mean, and we saw it in Texas. They can just trounce on anybody at any time. I mean, poor Texas. They thought they had 2 of those games in hand, and our offense just hit a different gear, and it's like a shiny new toy, the Indians' offense, with those guys in the lineup, It's like you just want to see them hit. It's freaking awesome. So
it is, yeah.
So we'll look forward to that this week, Indians home opener. Now, on a little bit of a more concerning note, oh, hey now. Kevin Durant returned the other night. Strangely, out of nowhere, Dwayne Wade, who was supposedly done for the season, played yesterday, as they are tied for the 8th seed now. And our Cleveland Cavaliers, who got the biggest win of the season over the Celtics in an improbable situation. So it was the second night of a back-to-back. We've been terrible on back-to-backs all year on the road. The Celtics were coming off of like 3 days of rest. Everything pointed to a Celtics win, and LeBron went out and they just smashed them. Just a straight street beatdown of the Celtics to regain first place. They follow that up, Rod, with a loss against the B team Hawks who, I mean, they started all 5 of their starters. We play our starters, and we lost at home. Then today, up by